I don't know where to get a job. Now I'm going to have this degree that doesn't guarantee anything for me. So
no real direction, even after a college degree. High school,
No.
college degree.
it can
no.
help a lot of
Sure.
people, but it's not something that guarantees anything for you.
Welcome to another episode of the No College Podcast. So we have a special guest here today, actually a very special guest, my daughter, Brianna Shorty Dumas, which is currently a college student, formerly at Texas Tech. Now she's going to University of North
Yes.
Texas, looking to get a psychology degree,
Mm-hmm.
and also an author of a new book that's coming out, which we can't just release the title yet, but hopefully it'll be out by Christmas. So I'm looking forward to that joint venture with her. So Brianna, tell us a little bit about your growing up and deciding to go to college, because obviously I didn't go to college, but for some reason you wanted to choose that career path. Yes. So tell us why'd you end up going to college?
Well, so when I was really young, I would see how hard you had to work and the hours you had to work and how often you went out of town and did stuff away from the family. So it felt like we had to spend so much time apart. And I wanted to feel like I could spend more time with my family, and I thought getting a degree would make it easier, per se, or more accessible, so I could work, I guess, what you see on TV, like a 9-to-5 office job in my cubicle. And that's kind of how I expected it to go. And now that I'm here, it's quite different. But that was more my thought. And I know I'm a first-generation college student, so I wanted to be able to say that. And kind of going through high school, you don't really have many options. You're just told, go to college. You're not given, hey, you have to pass entrepreneur or college. You're told, go to college or you're going to be unsuccessful. You're not going to have money. You aren't going to have options. You're not going to be looked at seriously. Who's going to hire someone without a college degree? So you don't really have options. That's what you're told to do. And after being told that for 12 years all through my education, of course, that's something that I didn't even think twice about doing. It was just something that felt like the next step I was supposed to do. Like, you go to high school and then you go there.
Yeah, so it was kind of a preconceived notion. There wasn't a whole lot of question. It was, hey, I went through school, all my teachers, my friends, everybody's been talking about college is the next step. It's kind of like going from, I guess, junior high to high school.
Same
it's
thing.
It's just the next step. So, and it's funny you bring up the challenges of entrepreneurship, because there was a lot of late nights, weekends, where, I wasn't an 8 to 5, so...
Definitely not.
And it's funny, we're here at Easter, and I remember one day you were hunting Easter eggs, and I remember how upset you got when you were hunting your Easter eggs, one of your last little Easter hunts, and I had to call and I had to leave for work, and I remember you weren't real happy about that, it being Easter time, as a friendly reminder of that.
Yeah.
So, what our life's been like. So, you were going the college route to
Yes.
not have to put in the hours and the weekends and the late night calls and emails and things like that was the purpose.
And I wouldn't say it's necessarily not because I don't expect those things, because I know anything you do in the workforce is going to be hard, and it's going to take, basically everything's going to take extra effort, mostly if you want to get anywhere in any job. If you're just doing the bare minimum, you're not going to get anywhere. So I expect to have hardships. I just wanted it to be something that felt very consistent and felt reliable. So whereas you wake up every day and you have to make your own source of an income that day, you wake up and you have to decide, how am I going to make money today? What am I going to do today? Whereas I wanted something that felt really stable. I wake up, I go to my job, I know what I'm doing, it's planned out. I kind of can have like an agenda for my day. Whereas you wake up each day and it's really in your hands on how you're going to go about it. And I guess that sense of stability and routine seemed like something that I would do better in, rather than waking up each day and having to self-motivate to do something that
Sure.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do, you know?
Well, what are your friends saying? You're a junior now, and you have other friends that have went to school. Some have not went to school. Kind of tell me the difference in friends and challenges and how they're acting and what they're doing in their lives now.
So, several of my friends now, since I'm a junior, are seniors. So now they are going to graduation. And a lot of them, I just asked one of my really close friends the other day, now that you are graduating, where are you going? What is your next step? Like, I know what you've wanted to do, but are you going straight to the workforce, more continued education to get a master's, or what are you doing? And she told me she wasn't sure. She's like, I'm not sure where I'm even going to go after this. I don't know where to get a job. Now I'm going to have this degree, but that doesn't guarantee anything for me. So,
So no real direction, even after a college degree, high school,
no,
college degree,
it
and
can
now,
help
yeah,
a lot of
sure,
people, but it's not something that guarantees anything for you. It's something where, oh, you get a degree, but now, like, I hope I can get a job doing what I wanted to do. And a lot of those jobs are still going to be entry level, even if you have a bachelor's. So you're going to be paid not a lot to be doing something that you just spent all these thousands of dollars to get while you're supposed to be paying off that debt. And a lot of jobs that aren't required to have a college degree, you don't need a college degree for. A lot of those can make just the same amount of money, more money, but there are a lot of jobs you don't hear about when you're in school. You don't hear about, oh, hey, did you know you can be like a welder and make a whole bunch of money? Did you know that? Of course, I never even heard of that. That wasn't something I thought of because you only think of go to school, become a mathematician or something, you know?
yeah. And how hard has school become? I know you and I have talked about that. It seems like college has become more and more difficult, just because it's not so much about the learning. It seems like there's a lot that they pile on you just to make it really challenging and difficult. And you're paying to learn. You're not paying for something just to be difficult. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, obviously, I wasn't in college 40 years ago, so I can't say to that. But for me right now, my experience is there is a lot of work that I would deem unnecessary, and a lot of things that I feel like I'm paying for that I'm not getting access to, such as I'm paying for a college education. I'm paying for these teachers to be able to teach me, obviously, what I'm in that class for. And a lot of it I feel is busy work, and teachers don't email back fast. You have such a small line of communication, and I'm paying for this experience to learn, whereas I feel like I'm just kind of given stuff and being told to learn it on my own, while the teacher just makes you take an exam that they don't tell you what's on it. So it feels like a lot of it isn't actually real learning, but is just things thrown at you and being said, hey, go on Canvas or Blackboard, and there's this sheet on there you can look at. It has some bullet points. Teach yourself everything on there. Get ready for the exam. Take it, and if you fail, that means you just didn't learn. But if you pass, I taught you so well. So it's one of those things where it's a process where it's so hard to get this degree and it takes so much time. And a lot of that time I feel like could be cut out because there's so many things you do that are 100% unnecessary.
Do you feel that that's money motivated, or what do you think that is? Why do you think they would take something that maybe you could do in, say, 2.5 or 3 years that is truly dedicated to your profession and what you're trying to accomplish? Why do you think they turn that into 4 or 5 years? Do you think it's money? Do you think it's they feel that you should have knowledge on all these other subjects? What's your opinion?
Well, I know that a large thing is there's like state regulations. So you have to have all these core classes done before you can even get into the classes that are about my major. So I have to take a basic history class, English, and government and things like that before I can learn my psychology courses, but I'm going to school for psychology. So there's these required core classes, and I'm not sure, but they're just, I guess you get an overall understanding. Those just more feel like something continued from high school.
What would you say has been a bigger benefit for you, being the family member of an entrepreneur? That's had trials and tribulations, not been easy, but we have seen some success, fortunately. Has that really been a lead indicator for you in your future endeavors, or do you feel like college is? What's been the true difference maker for you?
So this is where it gets kind of confusing or a little muddy gray, however you want to say it, because I feel that my education in psychology is something I really want to do. It's something that I have a passion for and something I want to help people and something that I've obviously dedicated a part of my life to. But being in the family with an entrepreneur, such as yourself, I see a large portion of that and how so many people are so successful without this college education. Whereas the people I do know who have the college education, or even some people like one of our friends who's a doctor, they have a college education. They're still paying off their debt 20 years later. They're not making nearly as much money as you are, whereas you didn't have that debt. You didn't go to college. So being your daughter of an entrepreneur, I see this whole other side that really in school you're not introduced to. This whole you can make money without going to school, which is something, of course, in school they don't tell you that. They don't want you to think like that. So it makes it where I feel like I'm constantly in this struggle between, do I want to stay in school or do I want to go down the path you are? Because there's one thing I love and dislike, because of course I don't like busy work and writing 5 essays about things that I don't know about, but I see you making all this money and it makes me think I could go do that. I could go do something that doesn't require college education and make just as much, if not more money. And there's so many opportunities and doors that open being an entrepreneur that don't when you have a degree, because once you have a degree, you are stuck in a very small area. So if I get a psychology degree, I'm stuck doing just that. I can't go venture out into other stuff or like progress into something bigger or better without continuing more education. Whereas you can do one thing and progress on to the next and kind of grow with that, and that's something that having a degree doesn't give you that luxury. So I feel that both options are really great and both can be successful. And I get stuck in between a lot. And it's something I was thinking about just yesterday. Which one do I want to do? Because I could be successful in both. But of course, I don't know what's going to happen next in life. So
Sure.
it's that uncertainty.
And I think it would be, I think it would be a big benefit if you had a roadmap. If you do get your psychology degree and you do finish and you want to go on to do that, have some sort of roadmap to, I don't want to be just a psychologist and work somewhere for a job. You may have the opportunity to where you can open your own clinics and build a very large practice. And that's where I see the real failures in the school system is the roadmap to success through entrepreneurship and owning or managing businesses and money and budgets and things like that. That I think that's kind of where the school system's broken and they're not teaching every day. You graduate with a psychology degree, but you're not going to know how to run the business. Then you're going to have to get the roadmap to run the business. And there's nothing like experience. And I've told you that many times. You can't buy experience. It just comes with time, hardships, trials, tribulations, and going through that. So is there anything that you would like to ask me as an entrepreneur and going through it the hard way?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Going through it as an entrepreneur, at what point did you know that was what you wanted to do? Because each person like me, I go through high school, go to college, confused which one do I want to do, but you very quickly knew that that was not what you wanted to do. So how was it that you navigated into entrepreneurship over doing what everyone else was doing? Because obviously you're going against the grain by not going to college along with all of your peers?
Sure, that's a great question. The difference for me was when I was running SWAT teams, I had a cool job writing policies and procedures, getting to deal with a bunch of crazy people. So, like I tell people, I was a psychologist, just on a different level without a degree.
A different type.
Yeah, but it was fun. But I just realized, I'm dealing with the bad guys, and I work just as hard as everybody else. But it wasn't just about the money; it was about the freedom. Being able to take a vacation, being able to do things and enjoy life a little bit. But then when I did get a vacation or two, I got 2 weeks vacation a month. Where am I going to go? Because I didn't have the money. I had to budget for it and really be cautious where I took the family. So, for me, that was really the game changer, and then it seems like, if a car breaks down or your air conditioner goes out, you have to spend your vacation money to try to keep your, property taken care of. And then it ruins your vacation because now you don't have the funds to be able to do that. So for me, doing that day in and day out, I was the loyal guy that showed up every day, was always on time. I was there early handling my business. And at the end of the day, it just got overwhelming to where, I'm like, I want more out of life than this. And the problem is, I don't know where to start. I don't have a roadmap. I don't know anybody that's successful entrepreneur. So I don't know where to go, who to talk to. It's like I'm lost. So, I jumped in, went to work for somebody, and really got out of my comfort zone and started knocking doors and selling roofs. And I was like, wow, this is so much different and so out of character for me. And, I started making some real money. And I was like, I'm working less now than I did before. And I'm making more money than I ever have. And then, a great thing happened. And that owner got a little bit sideways, and I started my own business, and the rest is history, as they say. And it's been a great run. It hasn't been easy, but had a lot of learning to do, and that's kind of my give back to the community now is I want to get that out to people. And I don't think there's enough people in our society that are aware that there are roadmaps out there. There are ways to get involved with people
Absolutely.
in different organizations to get those roadmaps and try to see success. Because now that I've got it, I want to point other people the right direction. And I think that's what, No College Podcast stands for is,
Yeah.
hey, you don't have to have the college degree. You can do it. But, yourself, you're going through college. When you take an exam, you have to cram. The end of every semester presents its challenges. You're working hard, long hours. Business is no different. But so many people get into entrepreneurship and business ownership thinking, oh, well, I want the freedom. I'm in dilly-dally, have a bunch of people work for me and become a multimillionaire. And that's certainly not the truth. It's furthest thing from the truth. I tell people, you want to work harder and make less money, own your own business.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, you've seen it
firsthand from you.
absolutely. So that's how it starts out. So I tell everybody, if I can give anything back to the success that I've had, it is there's people out there that will help you, and the people who have made it, that's their duty, is to give back to the people who are trying to figure it out. Even people that go to college. When you get to the end of your college degree, there's nobody standing there saying, oh, here, take that job, take this job. There aren't people
Absolutely
standing
not.
there with handouts. Your friend's going through it now. So it's like, okay, I've done everything everybody told me to, and here I sit. Now what? What's the
You're
next
just
step?
by yourself at that point,
Yeah.
kind of navigating it by yourself because you're given this roadmap up to that point. Then once you get there, they're just kind of like, go, like, good luck. And not to give you another answer to your question, but just the other day when I was interviewing you for a class, you were telling me how one of the reasons you got into owning your own business was, or became a business owner, was because you felt like you were working harder than the own person that owned the business to make them money. So the person that you were making the money for, you were working even harder than them, and that you didn't like that feeling.
I was working harder for their dreams than they were. That was, and I said, I don't want to work for somebody that I'm working harder for their success than they're even willing to work. So that's really what made me go out on my own and say, you know what, I want to do this. People that are excited, and money has changed our lives, and
Absolutely.
it's done a lot for us. And I tell people, it's not all about the money; it's about the freedom and being able to have enough funds to be able to do more of what you want to do and get that spare time and give back. So
Money creates security. So anything you do, you're going to enjoy a little more knowing, hey, if I go home and my car breaks down, I can still get my car fixed. Whereas, I went on vacation, now my car just has to sit there for the next couple weeks while I have to figure out what to do.
well, we're excited about your future. I'm glad you're here today and you're part of the No College podcast. And we look forward to the book coming out in hopefully December, January. I know that's exciting. How's it feel to be an author?
I don't know yet. I'm on my way to being one. Not one yet. How does it feel to be an author to you? You're one too?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's a new venture for sure, but it's all about risk and having fun. And I get to have fun with my daughter, which is even more exciting. So, and the future, we look forward to what you got going on.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do a follow up and see if you stayed the course on the degree or.
In that time, I'll need to ask you about how you feel having a daughter in school when you're an entrepreneur that definitely does not preach school.
Absolutely.
At all.
Yes. So I don't think school's a bad thing. I think there's a huge benefit. Many times I wish I had a degree, but I don't think it would have been the sole purpose of me being successful. I think knowledge is power. And I think that's the important part. So I don't want people to think the No College podcast is anti-education. That's certainly not the way that we think around here. It's all about knowledge is power, but learning the correct things for what you're doing at that time. It's not a one glove fits all. So that's what we like to discuss on here, have an open forum about, the one size fits all. You went through school just like the next person. We don't all wear the same size shirt. But in school, we all learn the same. We all do things the same. And then, the teachers want to sit up there and professors say, hey, come to school, give me $250,000, and when you graduate, you'll get a job making $80,000 a year. You'll have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with 2 kids and a half a dog or something. That's
the nuclear family.
Yeah, right. And that's what they that's the gospel that they're preaching. And there's more to life than that. And you got to think big. And you got to make big things happen and take massive action. And if you're not willing to get outside your comfort zone and do that, and I think entrepreneurship really breaks the mold of what the school system's teaching. So we thank you for being here, Shorty. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you for a little bit.
It was great to be here.
Yes, thank you. And we definitely are going to be doing a follow-up on the No College podcast.
Awesome.
And see how your future endeavors are coming. And good luck on your book.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for joining us for another episode of No College Podcast. As we go through our lineup here, it's super exciting to see what different people's views are out there. We are certainly not anti-education. We, represent what we do well. The education system can be changed, and we're hoping we're going to be able to do that because so many people out there do not realize the opportunities that lie before them. So, we want you to hear both sides of it. So we're going to have people with degrees coming in here, people with no degrees coming in here. We just want to see everyone be successful and realize their opportunities and be the best version of you every day. And that's what we're here for. So keep an eye out on us and continue to follow us here at No College Podcasts.